Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Chargers in KC on Sunday night. Big divisional matchup. If the Chiefs win, they win yet another AFC West crown, but they got their sights set on a little bit more than that, obviously, as they still want to lock up that one seed at 11-1. But the last time these two faced off, Justin Herbert was banged up. It was still a tight game. How do we see this one playing out, Kyle? And how anxious are these Chiefs fans to see DJ Humphries, their newest signing, at left tackle in place of Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia?
Well, you know what? I've been tuning in to the rumblings coming out of Kansas City all week. Obviously, I got some connections in that building, and I reached out to a few of the guys, and they've been so impressed with DJ Humphries since the minute he stepped in that building. He's an OG. He's a vet. And when you get a guy like that who's played and had success in the National Football League, you see that C on his chest right there when DJ Humphries was on the Arizona Cardinals. He's a guy who knows how to get it done. And what's the one thing they've been missing in Kansas City? A real left tackle, and they get one now. And whether or not Andy Reid deems him ready to go, because he's essentially coming off the couch, if they deem him ready to go, he will be an immediate upgrade. It has been the missing piece in this offense, and I've said it once, I've said it a million times. The left tackle position for the Kansas City Chiefs will make or break their three-peat run. And I think they got the right guy that was available. There's a few other names, but DJ Humphries is going to have his work cut out for him. Even if he's playing against a lesser opponent at the edge rush position, you have to keep in mind that the bullets are going to be flying a lot faster than what he has seen over the course of the last few weeks. I hope that Andy Reid and those guys are ready to score some points, because if DJ's in the lineup, I fully anticipate that to happen. It's a hat and t-shirt game, baby. They know how to do this at Arrowhead Stadium. I'm looking forward to this one, Mike.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kyle, because of how bad the left side has been. I mean, heck, Kyle, they probably would be applauding if you were picked up and they wanted to start you on the left side, because they just been needing any type of production, to say the least. In terms of DJ, the question I have in terms of being able to sustain a high enough level of play to get the job done, because it's not like he's playing against a team that has nothing to play for. He's playing against a team that has a lot to play for in terms of playoff aspirations, and he's playing against a defense that have two outstanding rushers in Bosa and Matt. And he's getting introduced back to the National Football League right now in the first quarter. So his warm-up period is happening now, because once the game starts, you know, Kyle, sometimes it takes a while for you to kind of get acclimated to this game flow. He won't have the luxury of going through that, because he's going against some high-level edge rushers that are licking their chops at the opportunity. Because anytime you watch Kansas City this season, you see the same thing surface. Bad play on the offensive line, specifically speaking, the left side. So the tape has been out, and they're going to try to exploit that. And let's see, can DJ prevent anything positive from happening for 4 quarters?
Yeah, Humphrey's tape from last year, it was a far cry from his peak when he was, signed that big deal, when he was playing as best for the Cardinals. But it was also a far cry from what we've seen from Wanya Morris this year. It was still competent play, especially in the passing game. And now I don't think week one, first game out, it's going to be what the doctor ordered for Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's going to take a while for him to mentally trust that blind side, because you see him on tape consistently this year. Even when pressure is not there, he doesn't trust it. Like, he is bailing. He is moving to get away from the potential that left tackle position loses, even when they don't. And that's just no way to play the quarterback position. And that's what you worry about, and why you make a move like this is because it has hampered and took that offense to flat out a mediocre unit this season. So I don't think it's right away, but it will in time be that. I have no doubt about it. DJ Humphrey's still only 30 years old. It's not like this guy is at the end of his career and just picking up the pieces, hoping his body can stay in place. It's like, no, he was actually probably just looking for the right situation for himself. And this definitely should be it. The problem is, as you touched on, BMAC, this is a tough unit to go against. Top defense in the NFL this season.
This guy, DJ Humphries, I'm not sure if you're familiar with who he trains with, but there's a dude named LaCharles Bentley out there, and he's somewhere in a garage hitting bicep curls and squats at the same time right now. He trains a ton of offensive linemen. I used to train with him, and DJ Humphries was a young buck in that building. Now he's the OG in that building. I'm no longer training there, but I know that he is going to be ready physically and mentally for a fight, and no better group to play against than those two edge rushers that you named. He will be looking to prove himself to this Super Bowl roster in Kansas City, earning the respect from his peers in that offensive line room. Andy Heck is one of the best offensive line coaches in the National Football League. They will have a great plan. The issue with Kansas City, they've had to resort to the quick game, the ADOT, average depth of target. It's gone down because of the fact that they don't have the luxury of protection. What has Kansas City done really well offensively in years past? Be creative, playing off-schedule football, scramble drills. They haven't had that luxury. All we need is another beat for Patrick Mahomes to make those huge plays and gash your defense.
I want to go to the flip side of the ball when the Chargers are on offense and the matchups we'll be looking for there, because I'm worried about Quentin Johnston. You saw him playing confidently mid-season. He had that big 100-yard game against the Browns. You thought maybe this is the turning point in his career. The last 3 weeks, though, he's been targeted 17 times. He has 4 catches for 60 yards on those 17 targets. He has dropped 3 balls over that span. He's gone 0 for 7 in contested situations. The wheels have fallen off. How do the Chargers get him involved in this game and get him confident again? Because 1, they need him. And 2, you could just tell watching his tape that the confidence is shot right now. He does not trust himself. And I don't think the Chargers win this game if we get another Quentin Johnston dud.
Well, I think, unfortunately for Quentin Johnston, I think he was overdrafted 2 years ago when he came out of TCU. I didn't see him as a first rounder because, the route tree wasn't something that he really displayed while at TCU. He was a deep threat guy, a fly ball or a post ball. But intermediate routes, creating separation in that phase and catching the football while not allowing the defender to be right there in his hip pocket is something that you didn't see from him time and time again. And then, of course, we saw the struggles a year ago, his rookie campaign, with a new offense, a new regime. They instilled some confidence in him. He showed better flashes, but to your point, Mike, now he's going back to the rookie Quentin Johnston. And right now, they don't need that because a year ago, it didn't mean as much because they were a bad team. This season, every drop is a meaningful drop because these are critical moments that you don't cash in on because you're fighting for a playoff spot that you currently have. So in terms of what they need to do, quick rhythm throws, quick slants, quick hitches. Allow him to catch the football. Allow him to be one with Wilson. And also, too, another thing that I don't like from Quentin Johnston, he catches too many footballs with his body. You can't do that. You got to be able to go out and catch it with your hands because when you're a body catcher, number one, it makes it easier for defenders to go take it out, knock it out of your hands. And then when you're a body catcher, it tells me that you're not as comfortable, it's not as confident in your hands. So now you're doing like what kids do a lot. You throw a hitch route to a kid, it's 11, 10 years old. Guess what he does? He catches with his body because he don't trust his hands like he should. For a professional like Quentin Johnston, sometimes you will catch footballs with your body. But too many times you're starting to see him allow the football to get too close to him, which warrant drops. So he has to find a way to get things going because think about this, Mike and Kyle. Wide receiver 1 is Ladd McConkey. And he's played himself into that role because he has embraced significant moments more so than Quentin Johnston. This is almost a 2-year stint for Quentin being too up and down. They don't need that there. So hopefully he can revitalize himself and get things going because for them to do anything important, Mike, to your point, they're going to need number 1.
Yeah, they're going to need him. And those physical traits that he offers, obviously, he's got speed. He's got the ability to separate. And we've seen him be wide open and the ball hit the turf. You talked about it. You hit the nail on the head. Get him involved early. It doesn't have to be long balls. It doesn't even have to be medium balls. Just put the ball in his hand. Let him know he can catch it early in the game. Allow him the opportunity to have that confidence later in the game.
It is funny just looking at these teams, though, how similarly built they are. Like they feel like they have the same identity right now. You have this franchise quarterback who kind of raises the level of everyone else, but still not to an elite level because he doesn't have elite talent around him. And you have these defenses that make the stops when it matters most. So I'm looking forward to this one. I don't have a great handle on who's going to win, but I just think they're two really good teams. And this feels like a early playoff preview.